Welcome back to another episode of Learn English Listening and Speaking with Podcasts. Today, we're delving into a fascinating and often overlooked aspect of communication: body language. Thomas, have you ever noticed how much of our message comes through nonverbal cues, even when we're not consciously thinking about it?
You're so right, Jennifer. It's amazing how much we communicate without words. In fact, research suggests that over 50% of our communication is nonverbal. Think about it: a simple nod, a raised eyebrow, or the way someone folds their arms can completely change the meaning of what they're saying. For English learners, understanding body language can be as important as learning new words. What do you think, Jennifer? Why should we focus on this today?
Exactly, Thomas. For English learners, body language can be a secret weapon. Imagine trying to express politeness or confidence with just words when your body is saying something else entirely. We'll dive deep into how body language enhances communication, especially when you're learning English, and how you can use it to become a more effective communicator. So, when we talk about body language, Thomas, what are the foundational elements people should be paying attention to, especially when speaking English?
Well, the basics are crucial. We're talking about facial expressions, gestures, posture, and eye contact. All of these nonverbal cues come together to help convey meaning. For instance, if you're saying, "I'm really happy to be here," but your arms are crossed and your face looks tense, your words lose credibility.
Exactly. English learners need to understand that it's not just about the vocabulary or grammar, but also about how you deliver the message. Nodding while listening, for example, shows the speaker that you're engaged. But on the flip side, if you keep glancing away or looking down, you might come across as disinterested or unsure.
That's such a good point. Maintaining eye contact while speaking can indicate confidence and sincerity, but it's also about reading the room. Some people find too much eye contact uncomfortable, so balancing it is important.
And don't forget about gestures. Even something as simple as using your hands to emphasize a point can make your speech clearer and more engaging. It's these little things that make a big difference in communication.
Jennifer, body language isn't universal, right? It varies so much across cultures. That's something English learners need to be aware of, especially when communicating in a global context.
You're absolutely right, Thomas. What might be a friendly gesture in one culture could be completely inappropriate or misunderstood in another. For example, while maintaining eye contact is seen as a sign of confidence in many Western cultures, in some Asian cultures, it might be interpreted as confrontational or disrespectful.
Exactly. And then there's personal space. In some cultures, people stand close to each other during conversations, but in others, that would make someone really uncomfortable. It's about understanding these nuances to avoid miscommunication.
This is especially crucial for English learners who might be interacting with people from diverse cultural backgrounds. Understanding body language not only helps in better communication, but also in building stronger relationships, both professionally and personally. Now, let's get into the difference between positive and negative body language. Thomas, can you give some examples of each?
Sure, positive body language includes open gestures, smiling, making appropriate eye contact, and having a relaxed but engaged posture. These are all signals that show you're approachable, confident, and interested in the conversation.
On the flip side, negative body language would include things like crossing your arms, avoiding eye contact, fidgeting, or even turning your body away from the person you're talking to. These gestures can make you seem defensive, nervous, or disinterested even if that's not your intention.
Exactly. It's important to be mindful of how your body language might be perceived. Sometimes we might not realize how much our body is communicating for us. In professional settings like job interviews or presentations, positive body language can be a game changer.
Absolutely. People often forget that body language is just as important as the words they say. In fact, many times it's even more important because it's what people pick up on first. Speaking of professional settings, Thomas, let's talk about body language in job interviews. It's something we all know is important, but many people still overlook it.
You're right, Jennifer. First impressions are key, and a lot of that comes from body language. A firm handshake, good posture, and maintaining eye contact can make a huge difference in how you're perceived by potential employers.
Definitely, smiling and nodding can show that you're actively engaged in the conversation and genuinely interested in the job. But if you slouch in your chair or fidget, it could give off the impression that you're either unprepared or not confident in your abilities.
And it's not just about looking confident. You also want to appear approachable and professional. Sometimes nerves can take over and people forget to smile or make eye contact. But these small things can really help set the tone for the interview.
Exactly. So for our listeners, if you're preparing for a job interview, practice your body language in front of a mirror or with a friend. It can make all the difference.
Now let's talk about one of the most challenging situations where body language matters: public speaking. Jennifer, how important do you think body language is when delivering a speech or presentation?
It's incredibly important, Thomas. When you're in front of an audience, your body language can either enhance or detract from your message. Using gestures to emphasize key points, standing up straight, and maintaining eye contact with different parts of the audience can help keep them engaged and make your message more memorable.
Exactly. If you're stiff or avoid looking at the audience, it can come across as nervousness or a lack of confidence in what you're saying. Even simple things like smiling or moving around the stage can make a huge difference in how the audience perceives you.
And it's not just about what you do with your hands or face, it's also about how you hold yourself. A confident posture can project authority and credibility, while slouching or fidgeting can distract from your message.
That's so true. And for anyone practicing public speaking, remember that your words are important, but how you deliver them is just as crucial.
With the rise of virtual meetings and online communication, body language has taken on a different form. Thomas, how do you think body language plays out in these situations, especially when people are only visible from the chest up?
That's a great question, Jennifer. Even in virtual settings, body language matters a lot. Though we're more limited in what we can convey, gestures, facial expressions, and posture still play a huge role. For instance, if you're slouching or looking away from the screen, it gives the impression that you're not fully engaged.
Exactly. On video calls, maintaining good eye contact by looking into the camera, nodding to show understanding, and sitting upright can help you come across as attentive and professional. It might feel unnatural at first, but these small adjustments can make a big difference.
And let's not forget facial expressions. Since much of our body is out of view in these virtual settings, smiling and showing active interest with your face becomes even more important. A genuine smile can really help create a positive connection, even through a screen. Let's focus a little more on gestures, Jennifer. They're such a powerful tool when communicating, but some people don't realize how much they use them or don't use them enough.
You're right, Thomas. Gestures can be a great way to emphasize points or add clarity to what you're saying. For example, when you're listing things, holding up fingers to count each item can help listeners follow along more easily.
Exactly. And using your hands to illustrate size, shape, or direction can make your message much clearer. For English learners, gestures can serve as helpful cues when they're still building their vocabulary.
That's such a great point. When words fail, gestures can fill in the gaps. But it's important to strike a balance. Overusing gestures or making very large movements can be distracting. It's all about using them effectively to support what you're saying.
Absolutely. Knowing when to use gestures and when to hold back can take your communication skills to the next level.
Body language isn't just about how we express ourselves, though. It's also about reading others. Thomas, how can paying attention to other people's body language help in conversations?
That's a great question, Jennifer. By being able to read others' body language, you can pick up on cues that might not be expressed verbally. For instance, if someone is nodding, they're likely following along, but if they're fidgeting or glancing away, they might be losing interest or feeling uncomfortable.
Exactly. This is especially important in both personal and professional settings. If you can pick up on nonverbal cues, you can adjust your approach mid-conversation to make sure you're keeping the other person engaged.
Absolutely. And reading body language can also help in situations where words might not fully convey what someone is feeling. A simple change in posture or facial expression can tell you a lot about a person's mood or intentions.
It's about being attentive, right? Paying attention to these small signals can improve not just your conversations, but also your relationships overall.
Jennifer, group discussions are another setting where reading body language becomes even more crucial. When multiple people are talking, you have to stay aware of how others are reacting, even when you're not the one speaking.
That's so true, Thomas. In a group, you can often tell who's about to speak just by watching their body language. Someone might lean forward or raise their hand slightly to indicate that they want to contribute.
Exactly. And in group settings, it's also important to be mindful of how your own body language comes across. Are you making room for others to speak? Are you signaling that you're actively listening?
Yes, and showing that you're engaged with subtle cues like nodding or maintaining an open posture encourages others to stay involved too. It's all about creating a dynamic, respectful space where everyone feels heard. Thomas, we can't talk about body language without mentioning the power of a smile, can we?
No, we can't, Jennifer. A smile is one of the most universally recognized forms of positive body language. Whether you're greeting someone, listening to them, or giving a presentation, a genuine smile can instantly create a warm connection.
That's so true. A smile can disarm tension, make you seem more approachable, and put the other person at ease. It's a small gesture, but one with a big impact.
And what's great about smiling is that it often has a ripple effect. When you smile, others are more likely to smile back, which can change the entire atmosphere of a conversation or meeting.
Absolutely. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful tools we have in communication.
Jennifer, let's talk about some common negative body language habits that we should all avoid, especially in formal settings.
Good idea, Thomas. One big one is fidgeting. Whether it's tapping your foot, playing with a pen, or shifting in your seat, these movements can make you seem anxious or distracted, even if you're not.
Exactly. And another one is crossing your arms. While it might feel comfortable or natural, it can come across as defensive or closed off to the person you're speaking with.
That's a great point. Another negative habit is avoiding eye contact for too long. It can make you seem disinterested or evasive, even if that's not your intention.
Right. It's all about being mindful of these habits so they don't detract from your message.
Thomas, let's talk about how body language can actually help build confidence. Have you ever used body language tricks to boost your confidence in a difficult situation?
Absolutely, Jennifer. There's something called power posing, where you stand or sit in a confident posture for a few minutes before entering a stressful situation, like a meeting or presentation. It really helps shift your mindset.
That's a great tip. Even something as simple as standing up straight, pulling your shoulders back, and taking deep breaths can make you feel more in control and less anxious.
Exactly. The way you carry yourself directly influences how confident you feel and how confident others perceive you to be.
That's why paying attention to your body language is so crucial, especially in high-pressure situations. Thomas, one interesting thing about body language is that it can mean different things in different cultures. Have you ever encountered any cultural misunderstandings because of body language?
Oh yes, Jennifer, especially when I was traveling. For instance, in some cultures, making direct eye contact is a sign of confidence and respect, but in others, it can be seen as rude or confrontational.
That's so true. And simple gestures like nodding your head or giving a thumbs up can also mean very different things depending on where you are. What's friendly in one country could be offensive in another.
Exactly. That's why it's important to do a little research before visiting a new place, especially if you're planning to interact with people from different cultures.
Right, body language might seem universal, but these subtle differences can really affect communication. Being aware of cultural nuances shows respect and can prevent misunderstandings.
Jennifer, posture is one aspect of body language that many people overlook, but it can have a huge impact on how others perceive us. Have you noticed that people with good posture often seem more confident and competent?
Absolutely, Thomas. Standing or sitting up straight with your shoulders back projects confidence and attentiveness. On the other hand, slouching can make you seem uninterested or even tired.
Yes, and in professional settings, good posture can influence how seriously you're taken. If you're presenting yourself in a way that's open and strong, people are more likely to trust and respect you.
That's so true. And the best part is, it's something we can all control. Making small adjustments to your posture can immediately improve the impression you make on others.
Exactly. It's a simple yet effective tool that anyone can use to improve their communication skills.
Thomas, another setting where body language plays a big role is during negotiations. Whether it's a business deal or just negotiating with a friend, how can body language affect the outcome?
Great point, Jennifer. In negotiations, body language can either strengthen your position or weaken it. For example, maintaining steady eye contact and keeping an open posture can project confidence and honesty, which are key in convincing the other party to trust you.
Exactly. And crossing your arms or avoiding eye contact might make you seem defensive or untrustworthy, which could work against you in a negotiation.
That's right. Being aware of the signals you're sending and the ones you're receiving from the other person can give you an edge in negotiations.
Absolutely. Negotiation is as much about reading body language as it is about what's being said. Thomas, body language can also be a powerful tool for showing empathy, especially when words aren't enough. How do you use body language to express empathy in conversations?
Great question, Jennifer. One simple way is through physical gestures, like a gentle touch on the arm or a nod of understanding. These small actions can show that you're emotionally connected to the other person.
That's such a good point. Even things like mirroring the other person's posture or facial expressions can help build rapport and show that you're in tune with their feelings.
Exactly. Empathy is often communicated more through nonverbal cues than through words. A comforting smile or leaning in slightly while someone is speaking can show them that you're truly listening and care about what they're going through.
It's about being present and engaged. Using body language to show empathy can make a big difference in both personal and professional relationships.
Jennifer, public speaking can be nerve-wracking for many people, but strong body language can make a world of difference. How can someone use body language to become a more effective public speaker?
That's a great question, Thomas. One of the most important things is to use gestures to emphasize key points. For example, if you're talking about something big or important, using open hand gestures can help illustrate that.
Exactly. And making sure to stand tall and move confidently on stage can help you appear more authoritative and engaged. It also helps you feel more in control.
Right. Maintaining eye contact with different parts of the audience can help create a connection and keep people interested in what you're saying.
That's key. Body language can help bridge the gap between what you're saying and how it's received. It's one of the most powerful tools in a public speaker's arsenal.
Thomas, for anyone listening who wants to improve their body language, what advice would you give them?
First, Jennifer, I'd suggest becoming more aware of your body language in everyday situations. Start by observing how you stand, sit, and gesture when you're talking to people. You'll probably notice things you hadn't realized before.
That's a great tip. Another thing I'd add is to practice in front of a mirror or record yourself on video. It can be surprising to see how much you can learn about your nonverbal communication just by watching yourself.
Absolutely. And also, try to consciously incorporate more positive body language, like smiling, making eye contact, and using open gestures. Over time, these habits will start to feel more natural.
That's great advice. Like any skill, improving body language takes practice, but the rewards are well worth the effort. Well, Thomas, we've covered so much today about the power of body language and how it can enhance communication in every area of life. Any final thoughts?
I think the main takeaway, Jennifer, is that body language is just as important as the words we use. Whether we're aware of it or not, it's always sending a message, so being mindful of how we use it can really strengthen our communication.
That's right. And for our listeners, remember that you can start applying these tips right away. Just paying attention to small things, like your posture or how you gesture, can make a big difference.
Exactly. It's all about being intentional with your body language. With practice, it can help you communicate more clearly, build better relationships, and even boost your confidence.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone. We hope you found this discussion helpful, and we'll see you in the next episode.